Right, we're live. So it's good afternoon, good evening, or good night. Thank you for coming to the live. Um, this week topic is using substitutes for conservation. Last week we had an interesting topic, and we were speaking of conserving with food. It was rather interesting last week as we tried to find ways how we can still eat, but we conserve nevertheless. So this week, I can tell you, we're going to look on conservation where using substitutes is concerned. Now, for those who may not know, a substitute item will be something that you use in place of. So, take for instance, you use ketchup, and instead of using ketchup, you use a tomato and make it into a paste. So it's something like that. You use something instead of. So instead of using, like I said, the ketchup, you use the tomato paste. So that's what we mean when we're speaking about substitute. And the substitute that we're talking about here is not only the substitute in terms of we're not only talking about the substitute in terms of food, we're talking about the substitute, all everything that has to do that we can find to substitute. Now, last week we started it in a bit where Queen came on and she said that there were some things that she used in place of. Um, I know for me, I do use substitutes. Hi, Emma, please thank you for coming to the live. I do use substitute and I try to use substitute that are more not only economical, but not only economical, but for the substitute. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Um, right, thank you for asking. And how are you? Right. I try to use substitute that not is not only economical, but those that will not harm you. Because take for instance, some persons have issues with bleach. I do use bleach, but not I don't use bleach on my clothes. Neither do I use it to clean up my home. I use substitutes for that, and I'll speak to you about it later. Now, one substitute or some things that we find that we can substitute is we're going to get to the food items later, but we're going to speak about probably everyday use or things that we use often or things that we do and we can use substitute to do them. One of them is the baking soda. Now, last week, hi Kidney Warrior, thank you for coming to the live. Last week, Queen was telling us about the baking soda, and she used that in her wash. And for the baking soda, I know it has many uses. Now, you have some persons who would go out and buy chemicals or things to clean the stove or the refrigerator. I don't buy those things, they tend to be expensive. And another thing about them is the smell. They can be rather harsh at times. So what I use a baking soda for that. Some persons may say it they don't think that it may be a good idea to use baking soda, but try it. If you have tried it, then you'll see that it works. Now, ironically, the baking soda it is an excellent deodorizer. You know, you have persons who place sometimes you have some little boxes of baking soda and they place this baking soda in the refrigerator. And in the refrigerator, thank you for the like. In the refrigerator, it really takes out the odor out of the refrigerator. So the baking soda has numerous, numerous things that it can do. Uh, Hi, Storm Chaser. Thank you for coming to the live. So it has numerous things. Now, what I do with the baking soda is normally I would get a little box and put that in the refrigerator. Now, another thing that I realize that some persons do with that baking soda in the refrigerator, they let it stay there and it stay there until it's of no use. Normally, if you look at the back of the box, it normally tells you that by right, the baking soda should really stay in the refrigerator for probably say 3 months or less. But you have some persons who let it stay there probably years. When I was a child growing up, my my parents had it in the refrigerator and it stayed there quite a while. Quite a while. I think probably until the box started looking, you could see that it was there for quite a while, even with the look of the box, and the baking soda was sort of hard. Now, one of the thing that you can do is just follow the instructions. Yes, the manufacturers know that persons use it inside the refrigerator, but what they are really telling you is, yeah, you use it in there, but use it for a particular period. No. Hi, Khalid. Thank you for coming to the live. I'm not telling you to throw it out. When you are finished with it, when the time has passed for it to come out of the refrigerator, that same baking soda can be used to just clean the stove or the refrigerator so you can use it back. It's not going to waste. You don't have to use a new brand um, baking soda for cleaning your stove. And to clean your stove, it's rather easy. Another thing too with the baking soda is it away from using it in the refrigerator, you can use it in your garbage bins. And if you use it in your garbage bins, then it will hold down the scent that is in your garbage bin. Now, if you're living in a country like mine, we don't get that collection every day. Garbage is not being collected every day. It is collected perhaps once per week. Now just imagine, hi Motorola King. Now just imagine you have that um garbage inside of your house. You're leaving to go to work, especially in the summer when it's hot, then it's going to smell up the entire home. Some persons place it outside. However, when the animals like the cats or the dogs should smell that garbage, they're going to want to get in there and probably turn it over, giving you more work. So the best thing to do, because we put most of us put um, the plastic bags in our garbage bag, what we can do is when we place the plastic bag in that garbage bin, then all we need to do is to just sprinkle some of the baking soda in the bottom of it before we start putting on our our garbage. And some persons, which is a great idea, some persons when they have the meat cuttings, they don't place that in the garbage bin. They put it back into another bag and place it back into the refrigerator so that when the garbage truck arrives, then you just take it out of the refrigerator and throw it away. It helps because with that meat cutting, that will breed up flies and maggots. You don't really want that. So the best thing to do is to just put it back in the refrigerator and put items in that garbage bin that you know won't cause a scent. or something that will affect you or attract the animals from turning over your garbage bin. Hi, Raymar. Thank you for coming to the live. Yes, I do have ads. Right. So that's one of the ways that we can use the baking soda. Morning again, Raymar. Thank you for coming to the live. We have numerous other things that we can use with the baking soda. Some persons have placed it into their wash. As a matter of fact, the one that we place in the wash should really be the washing soda. And there are two different types. So we have the baking soda and the washing soda. And the baking soda can be used to bake as well. Because I've seen it when you're baking the banana breads. That's what they use. Instead of the baking powder, they use the baking soda. So there are many uses for baking soda. Another thing that I use for baking soda as well is I would normally throw it in my drain and throw some vinegar on it, and it acts like a drain cleaner. Remember, some persons tend to have things going down into their drain, and because it tend to have a loop. Storm Chaser, greetings. Thank you for watching the ads, Raymar. Thank you very much. It's appreciated. Right. So because you have that loop that tends to be in the drain, or sometimes some of the drains have this xylophone effect where it's sort of stretching there. You can't see it because the manufacturers had already the workmen had already installed it before you get to that home. So because of that, you find that it is best if you constantly clean that drain. And the baking soda is a good thing to use. And you just pour the baking soda in the drain and throw some vinegar on it, and it foams up and then it goes down. It's really good for the drain. It will clean. Thank you, Khalid. It it will clean the drain. So it does work. Now then we're going to move on to cornstarch. Some persons use cornstarch again to cook. And so far we're talking about basic items that is not hard to get. So the cornstarch is another thing that it's not difficult to get. And persons have been using the cornstarch to clean and polish those sliding windows, the picture window or the bay window, those type of window, any window as a matter of fact, once it has the glass, and the doors as well, if they are fiberglass, and other glass surfaces. That's what they have been using the cornstarch to do. Other than that, we'll have to buy the glass cleaners. So you see, we do have things that we can use as substitute, and that's what we're talking about. For those who came in late, we're talking about finding substitutes for conservation. Um, we started off with the baking soda. Now we're on to the cornstarch. And the cornstarch, remember, it's not every day that you clean your windows or your glass items. Another thing that you can also look at is compare the cost. Look at the price of a glass cleaner and the price of that cornstarch, and look on the prices of the cleaners that you would use, like the drain cleaner, the the stove cleaner, the refrigerator cleaner. Look on those things and see if the cost of a box of baking soda would work out cheaper than you buying those chemicals to work with. And also consider your health. If you should spill a box of cornstarch or baking soda, it all it would do is take the work out. You have to do some work to just clean it up. You don't have that scent. But it's majority of the times, if you spill some of these chemicals, then you have to move away from that area for a while until the scent should go to other places, that it doesn't affect you. So we can look on it like that to see if it affects us, and not only affect us, affect our pockets as well. So we look on the cornstarch and we look on the baking soda. Now the next item that we're going to look on is, hi Giselle, thank you for being here, are the lemons. Now some of us are fortunate enough to grow lemons at home, and if you grow lemons at home, it's a very good thing to have. Now, I've seen, we all know that the lemons are, it's naturally acidic, and it is used to cut grease and to kill bacteria. Some persons use it to wash food items. Thank you for being here, Giselle. Some persons use it to wash food items. I have seen where, again, another glass um, assistance, where especially for the bathroom showers, where persons have been, after they clean the glass in the bathroom shower, in order to let the soap scum run off easily, they tend to use a lemon at times. And using the lemons to do this, it allows, whenever you should take a shower or a bath, then if the soap should splash on that shower, the shower enclosures, then it doesn't stay on, it just slide off because of using the lemon. So you can probably research that, but the lemon is really good. So the lemon has many uses, many uses. The lemon can be used to wash meat. The lemon can be used, I remember, even the lime itself. I remember as a child, I had my clothes and it had this brown spot on it. At the time, my mother said it was called iron mold. I don't know if anyone else knows it like that. Thank you for watching the ad, Scarlett. I don't know if anyone else knows it like that, but it had that brown spot, and all she did was to squeeze a lime on it and put some salt, and that's it. And eventually, as a matter of fact, not even eventually, within no time, that brown spot comes right out, right out. It was so surprising to see that. Storm Chaser is saying, if you can get some time, if you can get time, I'm not seeing here. I'm not seeing it. It's been blocked. Okay, if you can get some times, it can be expensive. That's true. The lemon itself can be expensive. That's what you're talking about, Storm Chaser. And that is why I said if you're lucky enough to grow it. The lemon tree takes, right. It can be, because and I think it's because it's not like the lime that you can get quite often, but the lemon, it takes a little, it grows slowly, and that is why I think that it can be on the tad bit of expensive side sometimes. It can be on the a bit of expensive. So if, and that is why I said if you're lucky enough to grow it. I'm trying to grow it, and I have this plan for quite a while now. Yes, it's growing. However, the lemons, the lemon tree tend to grow very slowly. I've never seen, well, possibly because we don't have them here. It would be good if I could get a dwarf lemon tree that will be able to grow to give me fruits, or that lemon, um, on a fast basis. However, for me, I know that here, the trees that we have, they tend to grow quite slowly. I don't know why. Probably it's the variety. So the lemon also is a very good thing to use as a substitute for quite a number of things. The glass cleaner, like I tell you, it can kill the bacteria We can use it in place of even just using the skin, because some persons I've seen that they have used. And another thing, yes, yes, Storm Chaser, the sour orange can work. Another thing that I know that they use the lemons for is I've seen them boil the skin, and it operates like an air freshener for the home. It has that nice lemon scent, and that is used throughout the home, where the scent will just um, go throughout the home, and it's like a deodorizer right there. So it can be used for quite a number of things. And the skin, I've seen persons use those as well to wash fish, um, whatever it is that they're washing, fish or the chicken, it can be used for that. I've also seen where my father had used whenever he's frying fish, he placed either a piece of lemon or the the lime itself into the fire. And can I tell you, the entire place, because the lemon is burning or the lime is burning, then you don't have that raw smell throughout the area or throughout the home. Because we used to fry fish inside. Sometimes when you look online, it is recommended that you fry those things outside. But we didn't while we had that capability, he tended to do it inside and use the just stick a piece of lemon or the lime near the flame so that it constantly burn. You don't have that raw fish smell throughout the home. So I know it does work for that. Another thing too is the white vinegar. You know something I remembered about the baking soda? The baking soda can be used in place of shampoo. So for those who are not aware, you can use the baking soda to wash your hair. And as a matter of fact, when you use the baking soda to wash your hair, um, Motorola King is saying you can research it, you will find something. Right. You can use the baking soda to wash your hair. I have been using the baking soda to wash my hair for a couple years now. I can't remember the last time I purchased a shampoo. I can't remember. I've been using the baking soda to wash my hair each time. And what the baking soda does, for those who don't know, is that it will prevent the natural oils from leaving your hair. Have you ever washed your hair with like you wash your hair with the shampoo, and at the end of it, it feels brittle or it feels dry? Because you, with the shampoo, you wash off the natural oils that your hair has. Now, when you use the baking soda, you're fine. It doesn't do that. So I've been using the baking soda for quite a while. I haven't purchased shampoo. And yes, Storm Chaser, the shampoo can really get expensive if you're not careful. So the baking soda in that case can work. Another thing too is the white vinegar. I told you earlier that with the baking soda, the you can add the vinegar to it to clear a drain, or to just, hi queen. Right, you can use the baking soda as well to clear the drain with the vinegar. Another thing that you can use with the vinegar for is I've used it with the baking soda to clean my stove. I would sprinkle the baking soda on the stove, because I don't use chemicals on my stove either. So I would use the baking soda, sprinkle the baking soda on the stove and use a sponge. Use the sponge and rub it. However, sometimes you have some spot on your stove or some hard food that is on there that refuse to come on with even just that baking soda, what I do is when I sprinkle the baking soda on it, I tip some vinegar there and just leave it. It will foam. It will foam because that is a reaction of the baking soda with the vinegar, and it foams, and then I just use a sponge and wipe it off. I find that it comes off quite easily. So the baking soda and the vinegar is really good. Um, Queen is saying that the baking soda and vinegar will give your hair a good detox. I was saying earlier, Queen, morning JC, I was saying earlier, Queen, that I don't buy shampoo. I only use the baking soda in my hair. Hi, 4Js. Thank you for coming to the live. I only use the baking soda in my hair. I haven't purchased shampoo in years. And then the vinegar for me that I use, like air condition, is the what's the name of it again? The apple cider vinegar. So I use the baking soda to wash my hair, and then the apple cider vinegar would be like my air conditioner. So that's what I use, and it has been working for me. I haven't had I haven't had any problems with my hair since. As a matter of fact, I do believe I have a good head of hair. And sometimes, hi Giselle, and sometimes I think I chose to go natural based on the fact that I will tend to have eczema. And because of that, I used to scratch my hair often. And scratching it often, it would mean that it would break easily, especially in the root. So I realized that when I use the baking soda and the apple cider vinegar, I don't have that problem. I don't. Probably I would be here now and I would be scratching away. I don't have that problem when I do use the baking soda and the apple cider vinegar. The white vinegar as well, um, can be used to clean the floor, and it's very good at cleaning the floor. I find that, right, it is a natural way, Queen. I find that growing up, when my parents got the ceramic tiles, I realized that if they use, it depends on what they have to use. If they use a bleach, then the scent that would come from the tile itself would be very raw. So they started using the vinegar, and the vinegar made it very white. Thank you for being here still, Khalid. Thank you very much. The vinegar would would eliminate all of that scent, and it will make it look very white. So they used to use, instead of buying the chemical to clean the floor, to clean the tile. Thank you, for Jay, for being connected still. They would still they would use the vinegar for that. Another thing with the vinegar that I use the vinegar for is to clean my bathrooms. I have not purchased chemicals to clean my bathrooms in years. So what I use is, with the vinegar, I would mix the dishwashing liquid. And we can get some very cheap dishwashing liquid. It doesn't, right. Queen is saying that she used the vinegar for a lot of things. I do too. I use the vinegar as a fabric softener. It's a great fabric softener as well. That white vinegar. It's a great fabric softener. And it's, if you think about it, it's also beneficial for the washing machines. Because majority of the times, if you look, and they would tell you, in order to clean out that washing machine, some persons would turn over a gallon bottle of white vinegar, add water to just clean out the washing machine. Because if you're using it as a fabric softener, then you don't need to do that, because it will work. And it will, like I say, it will clean any drain as well. So it's really good. it has a lot of use. And if you should compare it again with the things that you're really using this vinegar for, if you should compare it with the prices of the other items that you're using this vinegar for, there's a great saving right there. Conservation plays right there as well. And it's beneficial for you. If I have found that when I used to use the bleach and whatever soap, thank you for coming, Grace channel. I used to find that when I use the bleach and other soap in my bathroom, I really couldn't manage the scent. It was like it was stifling. Thank you for the like. It was really stifling. So what I found is that when I do use vinegar, I'm fine. I don't have that stifling effect inside. And then the vinegar and the vinegar and the dishwashing liquid, it worked wonders in there. Because I think because the ah Air Queen is saying it's also good for teeth whitening. Look at that. And you have some persons go out and buy some things to whiten their teeth. So that's another way. And for those who may be interested in using some of these things to achieve whatever it is that you think we're talking about here, you have drains to clean, you have fabric softener. You didn't buy any fabric softener, you want to use it in place of a fabric softener, just research it on the internet. Using vinegar for, using this for, it doesn't matter. Just look it up on the internet. Persons have explored that idea and have been looking to the internet for these simple ideas at times. Another thing is the rubbing alcohol. And the rubbing alcohol, it really kills germs and bacteria, and it's rather good. um I have seen where persons have, especially during COVID, they have used this a lot. In hygiene, in COVID time, they tell us to use at least something that has alcohol of 70%. What I have been doing with the alcohol is, when I used to buy the wipes to use, I would throw the 100% alcohol, or the 70% alcohol in there, just to get a better sanitization. So I've used that. Even when I'm at work, my desk has to be sanitized. Even to this day, remember, um this COVID thing it's no joke. It still is out there, but we're not hearing it as frequent as it it was previously. Queen is saying that that's another must have for her household. That's true. um so that's another thing that we can use. Another thing that I use and I can't do without is the hydrogen peroxide. And that I know, it has many uses. Some persons tend to know the hydrogen peroxide, especially when it comes on to using it as a mouthwash. However, it can be used in place of bleach as well. So if you wash your clothes and you normally use bleach, some washing machine has a part that you would put the bleach. Instead of putting bleach there, you can use the hydrogen peroxide. I know for the hydrogen peroxide as well, it can be added to the clothes and it doesn't burn it out. That I know. For the hydrogen peroxide as well, you can use it to clean the floor. And as a matter of fact, using it to clean that floor, you get a better sanitization than using bleach. So it's rather a great thing to use, and it has many uses. So some of these things that I've told you before, it has many uses. Persons have been using it for quite a while and have gained the benefit or the required benefit out of it that they wanted, and they have saved the cost. My only problem with the hydrogen peroxide is that it doesn't come in gallon bottles, and I think probably because especially in my country, we don't tend it's when you really work it out, it's a bit more expensive than the bleach itself. And hi, Rika Sweet Creation, thank you for coming to the live. And the thing is that you don't need to use a lot. You don't need to. Because if you're using it as a mouthwash, you have to add water. So it works where that is concerned. I Queen is saying I never knew that. Thank you so much. And I keep that stock in my house as well. Yeah, I use it in place of bleach in majority of the times, any little way that I can. Majority of the times when I do have it, I place one in the kitchen, I place one in the bathroom, and I place one in the washroom. So I tend to buy them in threes and place one at those strategic spots because I will use it in my kitchen to wipe off my counter. And thank you, Jane. Thank you, Rika. And I will use it as well in the laundry room in my wash, and I use it in the bathroom as a mouthwash. So it has many uses. And then I remember when I went away, I saw them for just $1. I could not leave it. I was sorry I couldn't leave it because coming back home, I would probably pay probably 300 and something dollars for half the size that I got for $1. So I bought it and I just taped it up and carried it down in my suitcase. And it worked. It worked. So we can find things that we can use as substitute that is not only cheaper, it will provide a health benefit to us as well, and it will work. And as a matter of fact, majority of the times it will work even better than what we were planning to use. Quite much better. Because look how we went through the baking soda, and that baking soda has many uses. We went through the it's even too much. Because the baking soda, we use it for cleaning the drain. We use it, some persons use it in the wash. Some persons use it to, like myself, to clean the stove. You can throw it in the garbage bin, sprinkle some in the garbage bin to hold down that odor. It is used in the refrigerator to hold down that odor as well. See, it has so many different uses. So many. So it's used for a lot of things. As a matter of fact, there may be other things that I probably used it for that I really even don't even. I'm not even talking about the cooking aspect of the baking soda. There are other things that I may have used it for that I don't even remember. Oh, I know it can be used for a bee sting. If you have a bee sting, then you just make a paste and you put that wet baking soda on it. So it has many uses, many uses. And if you are to really check it out, compare it with whatever you were going to use it for, it will save you where that is concerned. In terms of we went through as well. Hi PH to KLTV, thank you for coming to the live. We also spoke about the what's it called again? The cornstarch. And the cornstarch, we said, was that persons use it to clean those windows, to clean those fiberglass doors, anything that has a glass. They use the cornstarch to clean it. And it works. Thank you for the like. Thank you for being here. Right. So we have been using some of these things to not only alleviate our pockets, but in also to save ourselves from some of these chemicals that are out there being used. they and I think from all, I think I've spoken about 6 things that we could use. And for all of them, I think the top of it end up to be the baking soda. The baking soda has numerous uses. And we have been using some persons have been using the baking soda for years. I have been using the baking soda for years to do a lot of things. And because of that, each time I buy the big box. So I buy the big box and I might put some in the refrigerator, in the fridge. When I put that in the fridge, I know it's supposed to stay for probably say 3 months max. When I take that out of the fridge, that's what I use to clean my stove. So I always have some that I'm rotating. I use the baking soda as well to wash my hair. I use the baking soda as well. I periodically put it in the sink, put the vinegar on it to just wash out the drain. So it has many uses, many, many uses. Many. And getting these or doing these things with it, it works. Because I can attest to that. It does work. It does work, and it has been working for me. Now, another thing that we're going into now is the how we can use even some of these. There's a food. Some persons eat it, and some persons use it. Oh, see, Queen is saying that the baking soda can be used to wash your fruits and vegetables as well, especially if they're not homegrown, right? Because it may have on those chemicals or pesticide and fungicide that you need to wash out, which is true. And sometimes even for the food that we are washing, the fruits and the vegetables that we are washing, sometimes they the persons who are reaping them put this form of preservative on it. So it's rather best to wash it with it. It helps. So that's another use as well, which is true. I've seen it being used for that. So you see, I think out of all, baking soda is top. All right, now there's this nut, and couple years ago I saw where while persons eat nut, I didn't like it because it didn't have any taste to me. And I saw where persons use it to get rid of scratches on their board tabletops or board chairs. And when I saw it, I had a table, not a table, like a coffee table that was made of board and it had scratches on it. So I said, you know what? Next time I get this nut, because I know I don't like it, because it didn't have any taste, I was going to save it to see if it really get rid of that scratch. And the nut that I'm speaking about is a walnut. And I did try it and it did work. I don't know how it worked, but it had a scratch. You know, when your board table or your board items or your board chair have that mark on it, all they did or all I did was to take that walnut and rub it. And the more you're rubbing it, is that the scratch is coming out. Motorola King is saying, Smart, you must be a rich lady. No, I'm not rich enough, Motorola King. What I try to do is to find things that will help me in my everyday life. Because even with the even with the scratch that I had on the coffee table that I'm telling you about, I was thinking of getting it sanded and resprayed. Thank you for being here, PH to KL. I was thinking of that, Motorola King. And the reason why I was thinking of that was to just save me. I didn't like to see the scratch. But then when I use the walnut, perfect. I saved myself some good money with that walnut. So it worked. It really worked. So possibly you guys can try it if you have the board. And I'm talking about natural wood now. I'm not talking about the super wood. No, I'm speaking about the natural wood. And it doesn't matter what type of wood it is, once it's a natural wood, not a man-made one, it will get out that scratch. And believe you me, what I've been doing is, yeah, I find myself that I have to eat it because if it comes in that tin with the mixed nuts, I eat it nevertheless, but I save one. I do save one that in case something like that should happen where I have that scratch, then I'm going to use it. So I find that it works and it has worked wonders for me. Now, another thing too, another Storm Chaser is saying true Motorola King. Another thing too is the saving on or substituting some things that we purchase as food. Now, some of us may be lactose intolerant, and like for me, I can't really fool around the milk, the cow's milk, because when I fool around that cow's milk, my eczema would spring up. So and my sinuses as well. So, I haven't had a sinus attack for years because I try to avoid those things that will act it up. Now, I have found that, especially nowadays, there are quite a lot of milk substitutes. And I wouldn't really call them milk substitute. There are a lot of things that are used to make milk. Now, one of the things that is used to make milk is the almond. And I've seen oats. I've seen even rice. I don't think I would drink the rice one. And based on how I see the the oats one is being made, I think it needs something more. But persons have been making it and have been using it in their cereals. The almond milk is what I like and I was interested in, and it's quite easy to make. And as a matter of fact, you get a better almond milk when you make it yourself. The ones that are being sold are really almond milk water. The true almond milk is rich and I wouldn't say thick, it's really rich. It doesn't have that light beigeish color. It's really rich. It has that milk consistency. However, the color is that same beigeish looking. And it is strange when I have read as to how those manufacturers make their milk, it's different from how you would make yours. Because what they do is they would use they soak the almond, and when they soak the almond, that water that they get off it, they would pasteurize it, do something, whatever it is that they do, and add the additive, and that's what they call almond milk. Now, when you are making that almond milk, it is always advised that that first water that you soak that almond in, you throw that away because that can be very gassy. And then, because you're soaking the almond, you really want the almond to be a bit, because the almond is hard. So you don't want it as hard. So when you soak it, it gets a bit softer, not totally soft. It makes it easier to blend. And they blend it and they squeeze it. They add Some persons add a little honey to it, and that's almond milk. And you can make it anytime you want. As a matter of fact, for me, when I make my smoothies, especially the milk looking base one, I don't add milk. All I add is couple grains or couple seeds of the almond. So if I'm making a oats and banana smoothie, I just add the banana because the banana is a natural sweetener. I add the oats, water, and I add the almond, the raw almond itself. And if I don't tell you that I did not add any form of milk base, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. So I do that for my smoothie. Um, Motorola King is saying anything on bath soap. Yes, I have made my own bath soaps, and I find that it's really better when I make my bath soap. It works for, especially because I do have the eczema. It suppresses it. It suppresses it, and it's a very, it's not a hard soap to make. You just need the oils. So I have made bath soap already. I rather it's the bath soap that I make is cold press. I don't use, some persons when they make bath soap, they would use the bath soap that they have previously to make additional soaps. I don't use that. I make mine from scratch. Another food that we can look to conserve is the oil. As a child growing up, I've seen my mother especially, she made her own coconut oil. Thank you for being here, Khalid. She made her own coconut oil. I do rather the coconut oil myself. Rather, it's rather expensive, especially the cold press ones. It's rather expensive. However, um, it's a healthier choice. I know Motorola King. I don't understand sometimes why they have so much ads in the live stream. Right. So it is a choice that we can look on by making our own oil. It's not a hard process. However, especially for the coconut oil, sometimes what I do is I just cook with the coconut juice. So if I'm cooking a meal, instead of using oil, I use the coconut juice to do the oil, and it it gives that flavor to the food as well. It rather tastes nicer to me sometimes. Um, then we have salad dressing, and salad dressing sometimes you don't use it as fast, or sometimes you find that you have to throw it out, especially if you buy that huge bottle. For me, for salad dressing, I use the vinegar, a little ketchup, and some sugar. And that's Queen is saying that she uses a lot of natural soap, but she want to make her own. I can look for my recipe and I can send it to you. There's also a soap making forum that they show you. What I know you will need is a variety of oils. And if you want the scent, then you have to buy the essential oil. It's rather easy to make, especially I noticed that some places sell the mold. Because when you mix it, when you do make that mixing, Queen, then you throw it in the mold. All I did was to just wrap it around with a comforter and let it stay for probably 2 3 days, and then it gets hard because you pour it in not hot but warm. So you pour it in the mold warm, and what I pour mine in is the pipe, like the I think it's about a 3 inch pipe, right? I pour it in the 3 inch pipe, and then put the cap. The pipes have caps that you can purchase. So you put the cap on it, and I wrap it with the comforters, because the comforter, it can keep that heat. for a little while, and I wrap it, and then a couple days after, I pull off the cap and just push it out, and then I cut it. And when you cut it, I put it on some like grill and just let them dry. I tend to have a pH tester as well, and when I test it, when I test it, I tested if it's too acidic or if it's just right. And then majority of the time it's just right. Sometimes what may happen is that the glycerin out of the soap will separate. When you use the natural soap come with a natural glycerin. With, I don't know if you realize that sometimes they sell the glycerin soap separately. So what these manufacturers do sometimes is remove the glycerin from it and make another soap. Now, if I am making the soap and the glycerin would separate, you'll know it because it has that clear look. When the glycerin separates from it, then I just soften back that soap again. Anything that is in that mix, I soften it back again, put it back in the pot to heat up, and throw it back in. And then it tends to come back out as the soap that you would want. All right, so for the salad dressing, I tend to use the vinegar, I use the vinegar and I put some sugar with it and the ketchup, and that's salad dressing for me. And I just make the amount that I'll need at the time. And as a matter of fact, I would throw it on a matter salad. And that's it. I don't buy I used to buy it, but I realized that while you do eat the vegetables often, there are sometimes I don't want that salad dressing on my food. I really don't want it. I tend to be a bit fattening, so I really don't want it. So I find that if I do want the dressing, then I'll just make it myself. And it works. Another thing too is the salt that we use. And the salt that we use, sometimes we can not use that salt by using the substitute. Now, I find that when you use natural seasoning on your meat, you don't need salt sometimes because these seasoning themselves have a natural salt within it. You know, you have garlic salt, you have other salt that really comes from these herbs and spices that you may have. And I'm not talking about the herbs and spices that would be sold in the supermarkets. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that you would grow to really season your meat. So if you grow the green onion, yes. Storm says saying TikTok smart is over there. Follow here. Thank you. Storm is saying that there's a TikTok page and all who wants to follow can go over there and follow me on TikTok and I'll follow you back. Right. So for the seasoning, I'm telling you, these emit sometimes a natural salt. And it's better than you just adding salt to your plate. It is. Because salt, as you know, too much salt is not good. So if you can eliminate some of that, then it's great. Salt can also be used for other things because like I tell you, as a child, I've seen my mother use salt to remove that iron mold. So it can be used for quite a number of other things and it will work. So while we do have the things that we can use as substitute, this thing is always evolving. Always evolving. Can be used as air fresheners. You name it. We can find the things to use as well that will assist us out there. And this assistance will not only benefit you by your pockets, it will also benefit you health-wise. Health-wise, some persons when they see my natural hair always ask what you use or what you eat. Sometimes it's not what you eat, it's probably it's really what you eat and put in your body that comes out there, because the hair is dead hair, but it's also what you use. Now, you may be using a shampoo that is breaking your hair excessively, and especially some of those shampoos are not really made for some texture hair, you know. Some of those shampoos are really made for persons with some hair texture that is different from ours. So you need to probably look on these things before you even think of even purchasing them. And like I say, these substitutes, they work. And you're not, when I say substitute, you're not going inferior. You're not going inferior with some of these things that you're thinking of using. It really is beneficial to you and it will work. Remember, conservation is such a vast topic that we can gain many benefits from it. And if you think of it, there are many different ways to conserve. Many ways. Yes, they work, and it works by saving you big time. That's true. Big, big time. So we can probably think of some of these things and look on them, see if it will work for you, see if the benefit will be so great that you have that knock to it. Um, Queen, I'm honestly going to look for the recipe that I have. If I don't find it, I'll find one for you and I'll give you the link. I'll share it with you. I myself, when I do make my soap, I only make the neem soap, and it's because I do have the eczema. I don't use the prescribed medicine for my eczema because they are steroids, and I don't want those steroids in my or on my body any at all. We have come to the end of another live stream. We will do another live stream next week at this time where we will learn another method of conservation, be it what it may. This topic is this channel is all about saving. And even if it is very small, we're looking to save it as well. So I want to thank you all for coming to the live. No matter where you are in the world, thank you very much. And I want to say good afternoon, good evening, or good night. And please don't make conservation a burden.